Good morning and welcome to Namaste Today, a positive way to start your day. I'm your heartfelt host and what I call the Sensei to Serious Joy, Christopher Witecki. This audio blogcast is for Thursday, June 22nd, 2017. Welcome back, my friend and earthly neighbor. Namaste. Well, today we officially begin the Cancer transit. We're at step 1 of the sun in Cancer. And put simply, that means things are going to get emotional. In today's zodiac weather, I'll tell you where the planets are and talk about the countdown to the new moon. And later, in our tea time, I want to give you some basic tips for managing emotions. But first, let's take a look at today's moods and your zodiac weather. This zodiac weather is for Thursday, June 22nd, 2017. And my global forecast for planet Gaia is sunny but rather pensive. We enter into the sun in Cancer, but a moon in Gemini triggers emotional thoughts. Let's take a look at the planets. Well, summer is officially here, and so is Cancer the crab. And I find it funny and ironic because really, Cancer is the one sign where we tend to get our crabbiest. And I wonder where that term came from. Is it from the claws pinching us? Because that's how sometimes emotions feel, like we're being pinched by intense feelings. Well, today we start the transit with step 1, which means your heart, that's what step 1 is, I love. Your heart is coming out today, and your heart is going to express its opinion on how it feels about everything. So today could go positive, today could go negative, kind of depends on how things are going in your life. And that's one of the things about the Cancer transit is all the truth comes out. Our emotions are a special state of awareness that carries the information from the rest of our soul. Our body's information comes through our emotion. Our mind's attitude comes from our emotion. Our ego's anger comes through our emotion. All states of awareness come through the emotion and the ocean of our emotions. And as of today, the faucet is on, or as I like to say, the tide is high. So expect a lot of different feelings to bubble up to the surface. Expect perhaps some interesting dream life because our dreams harbor our subconscious feelings about things. And because the moon is in Gemini and we're on countdown to a new moon tomorrow evening, Friday evening, you might have a lot of disconcerting feelings come up because the universe is poking and prodding you to come to some emotional conclusions about your life. So, for the next 24 hours, just allow all of it to come forward, my friend. And it's likely that you're very pensive. That's because the moon itself is in Gemini. And so we're kind of getting a quick emotional tour right now with the moon in Gemini of where our feelings have been literally for the last month when the sun was in Gemini. So it really is kind of a ramped up and learning period. Expect that there might be some moodiness come up and expect to self-nurture as necessary. One thing interesting about human consciousness is that emotion, step 2, operates separately from our thoughts, step 5. They talk to each other, and one triggers the other, of course. But as you well know from knowing human beings, there are some people who live only in their mind, and so they're kind of, quote, cold and calculated. And there are other people who live completely in their emotion, and they seem to have no logic or reason. Well, as we move through the year and move from Gemini to Cancer, we kind of experience this ourselves. In the last 30 days, your mind may have come up with a whole bunch of really great ideas, and it made perfect sense, and you decided this is where your life's going to go and this is what's going to happen. But now that the sun is in Cancer, and you're starting to feel what some of these thoughts lead to, now you're getting the emotional response to these ideas, and it's quite possible in all of your genius Gemini time that your thoughts did not consider how you would feel. So in these first 4 or 5 days of Cancer, a lot of what's going to be happening is you're going to be feeling through the emotional consequences of your own intellectual coldness. Anywhere where you weren't thinking for your own feelings may come up as a problem. And that's what this is all about, to kind of resolve these problems and work through them. Now, interestingly enough, we have Light Cast Day, or the new moon, literally on Friday evening, and that is the emotional seed that we plant for the season. So we're going to say in this Light Cast Day, I want to feel this way as I go forward in the future, or I no longer want to feel that way. Sometimes it's a negative light cast. We're saying we want certain feelings to stop. Whatever the case is, the fact that we have Light Cast Day in literally 24 hours or 2 degrees into the transit tells me that you'll likely be doing a lot of emotional processing in the next 24 hours. So for that reason, I thought today over tea, I would give you some tips I have learned through the years about managing our emotions. So go steep yourself some tea, and let's have our daily tea time. Hello, my friend, and welcome to our tea time. Today's tea time topic is managing emotion. Now, that may sound overly simple to you, but I gotta tell you, I find that managing emotion is the most complex part of being human. Absolutely. And I really have learned to respect emotion when I discovered the 11 Steps to Serious Joy and my step system. And I realized that all of the master steps, steps 20 through 29, the final deacon of any kind of house, for instance, those steps all start with step 2, 21, 22, 23. It's all I feel and something else. Therefore, masters on earth are people who have learned to manage and master their own emotions. That's really what I think separates the experts from the novice when it comes to spiritual enlightenment here on earth. It really comes down to our feelings or cancer. And it makes a lot of sense, and I won't go into too much depth about this, but in my research I've also realized, as I mentioned in the open, that the emotional field is really our energy in motion. It's our entire soul. In fact, our emotions are what they are referring to as the Holy Ghost when they say Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. The Holy Ghost is your feelings. Your feelings are a ghost of your entire being, and they're zipping around you all the time. So emotions are complex. They have many, many different voices inside of them. And I myself am not great at emotion. In fact, I have what we call a lunar eclipse in Cancer, which means I have a blind spot when it comes to dealing with my emotions. So as Sensei, I talk emotion a lot because I had to walk emotion a lot. I've had to deal with it. And at this age, I'm still learning to master my own feelings. But here in all my time on earth and counseling, I have come to some general tips about managing emotion. And I want to give you these 5 tips today because we're entering into Cancer and everyone is going to be dealing with some emotion somewhere in their life. And here's what I've learned. The first thing with emotion, step 1 to dealing with your emotions, is you must identify how you feel. Now you may go, that's obvious. Doesn't everybody know how they feel? No, not at all. In fact, a lot of people are caught in their emotion and they have no idea that they have been hijacked by their own feelings. Much less can they identify it. So the first thing to do when you have a ton of emotion come is ask yourself, how are you feeling? Literally like that cliche of a psychotherapist on a couch. How you feeling today, Chris? And you want to come up with some sort of an identifier. So I'm feeling angry, I'm feeling upset. And it's probably a lot of things that mix together. But you have to, your mind has to find at least a label for how you feel so you can clarify it and you can put your hands around it. Until you put your hands around it, you can't change it. So you must identify how you're feeling. And you can do this with yourself and by yourself. And I usually just, have a conversation with myself at the risk of looking like a lunatic. I don't care. In my car or whatever, I'm like, how am I feeling? You know what? I'm feeling pissed. Like, I'll just start to talk out loud because I nearly sometimes need to talk about my feelings to know how I feel. So step 1 is overrun with emotion. Identify how you feel. Step 2 to this, once you know how you feel, you must be self-compassionate and non-judgmental. The magic words are, it's okay. It's okay you feel angry. It's okay you feel like killing him. It's okay you feel like giving up. It's okay you feel... No, there are no wrong feelings. Feelings are information coming to you. They're telling you from your soul that these are problems. It's not wrong that these are problems. These are the problems. These are the issues. This is what you're dealing with. So it's not worth any time and space to feel guilty for feeling that way or feel guilty for feeling this way. You're getting off track when you allow yourself to judge your feelings. It's absolutely 100% okay that you feel this way, and nothing can change it. Make it the law of your personal land. Step 3, after you have been compassionate and non-judgmental yourself, like, okay, we're feeling hatred and we're feeling this and we're feeling that and we're feeling selfish and we're feeling like revenge, whatever it is, you're totally okay with all of it. You're totally self-compassionate. Then you need to, and this is where people, this is my greatest realization about emotion, what I'm about to tell you. Step 3. It turns out you have to identify how you wish to feel next. And this is where people get lost. They stay stuck in how they are feeling. They never get to how they want to feel. They focus instead on how they are feeling. And this kind of comes with the myth that we're stuck in the way we feel, that we can't get out of the way we feel, that we need other people to feel differently inside. All false lies. The truth is, you are the only person who can determine how you feel. And you need to know how you want to feel. You have to identify what it is you wish you felt if you have any expectation at all to get there. Your emotions literally need a goal. They need to be told, hey, I understand we feel this way, but let's get over this way. They need a new direction. So I feel hatred and I want to feel at peace. I feel this and I want to feel that way. So step 3 is you have to identify how you wish you could feel. Step 4 is once you've identified your emotional goal, then you have to get into a total inner nanny role where you become the royal nanny to your royal princess or your royal prince inside, and you gently nurture yourself toward that feeling. So you want to feel peaceful? Okay, well, let's go ahead and try to feel peaceful. And you basically just sit by your emotions side, and you gently nurture yourself any way you can. A lot of times, whenever I try to gently nurture myself, my inner prince gets pissed at my own self and starts fighting myself that I'm trying to change our feelings. So I end up getting into a weird fight with myself that I'm trying to change my mood, almost like I'm feeling manipulated by myself, which is exactly what I'm doing. I'm trying to manipulate my emotions to where I want them to go, but authentically. I'm not pushing them. I'm gently nurturing myself. Okay, and waiting. And that's the 5th tip and the final tip for you today. As you're gently nurturing yourself to your goal, step 5 or tip number 5 is you must give yourself as much time and as much space that you need. Okay? There's no rush. Take as much time as you want. Be willing to stop heaven and earth for yourself and be like, that's it. We're going to just take as much time as we need to feel better, as much space as we need. You may find that for some issues, that time and space is 6 months. You may find that for some issues, as soon as you give yourself the time and space, you snap out of it. You'll learn your emotional temperament over time as you begin to really work with yourself to bring yourself to the feelings that you want to be at. So in the next few days, you may experience some emotional turbulence, and those are my 5 steps to get you out of that hot water. All right, my friend, it's always a pleasure to be of soul service. And the kindest thing you can always do is share me with your friends and family, or post on Twitter or post on Facebook. That's the greatest thing you can do because, a lot of people are hurting out there, and we really want to get that light out there to help others. I hope you have a wonderful 24 hours. I'll be back tomorrow for a Lightcast Day. Until then, remember I love you, and to live, love, be.
Live, love, be.